Okay, so just because average is 14 per quarter last year. Last year, I believe it was 11 requested in fall, 13 requested for winter, and 14 or 15 requested for spring. But imagine if all 24 requested funds. We're basically going to drop down to our cap of 450. So this is kind of not good, and it's kind of give Carly, but don't do this. No, Carly.
So essentially, there's still, even if we do this for the remainder of the quarter, that doesn't mean that the only way that I can think of doing it is the first 14 orgs who I, find in my media box online, like that's how I'm going to do it if we decide on this, but that doesn't mean that they're guaranteed that $715. There's still a cap. I mean, it's one and the same, really. Elizabeth.
You bring up an excellent point. This is a cap, so it is the maximum amount of money that they can get. It is not the amount of money they will be getting. So if you happen to have all 24 orgs applying, clearly they're going to get less money. The beauty about media funding, as far as I know, is everybody applies at once. There's one deadline, and then you consider how much money you're going to give the media orgs for that quarter. So you know exactly how many orgs you have to fund when you're figuring out how much money you're going to give them. So we set this cap, assuming the average number are applying, and they could get up to $714. If more than that applies, you give them less money. That's just how a cap works when you have a limited budget and variable number of groups applying for money. So I'm just saying we raise the cap so it is possible that these orgs that do apply can actually publish something.
Christian.
Can I just, I'll yield back to Carly.
Yep.
Does this leave any room for new media orgs that want to be established?
Yeah, I mean, I took out $1,000 for new media organizations, but as for the other, say, for some reason, the organizations who registered and decided, maybe to print, like, I have no money for them besides the first 14. Cow. Pass, unless someone needs to speak. Carly. Elizabeth.
Also, to answer your question, new media orgs could apply for student or programming funds or operating funds up to $500. So.
Carpenter.
So who would know anything to do?
Carly. Okay. So I'm gonna just raise your hand. So who likes this idea? Who? Oh no, never mind. I forgot I did a straw poll. Took me 4 years. Who likes this idea of 715 for 14 organizations? Who likes the caps? And then who is still really confused because they didn't follow any emails over the AS lister for the last week? A, likes the amendment. B, likes the caps. Well, likes the lower caps. And C, didn't follow anything. Everyone raise their hands, please. Thank you. Carpenter.
I would like to call the question.
All right, this is called a question just on the amendment. Any objections?
Wait, well, can you explain? This
This is the amendment written up on the board. This is what we're going to, there's a call to question to vote on this. Any objections?
Okay.
All right, there's been an objection to the call to question. We now have to vote on whether or not to vote. So all in favor of going to a vote, please raise your hand. And just on the amendment. Raise your hands, only voting members.
Opposed?
Any abstentions? All right, vote was 19 to 1 to 2. Call the question passes. We are now going to vote on this amendment. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that does not pass. We are going back to the original speakers list, and Carly, you're up.
media orgs together and talking to SOTAC is we'd like someone appointed to SOTAC who's had experience in print media. I believe Jessica Caloza, thank you. I didn't want to murder her last name. Has experience, and there has been talk about possibly appointing her to SOTAC. And it'd just be wonderful so that there'd be less confusion in the beginning, and that when you do get us together, so that we can tell you what it is we need and why we need it, that there's not confusion on both sides, and then it doesn't get too clusterfucky next time.
Well,
I think actually Aurelia just kind of hit it right, like where it's supposed to be. I think the biggest problem that happened this year was that when I'm hearing from media orgs, at least, I'm not doubting anybody's truthfulness on council. I'm just saying a lot of people are frustrated because there was a lack of communication according to the media orgs. I don't know. So I think this is where the frustration is coming from, not necessarily that we have to take cuts, that everybody is having to deal with the budget. It is what it is. It was voted on, whatever we can go, and this is what it is. But I wholeheartedly support the idea of having the AS media rep be on SOFAB, because that really gives a lot of insight into how printing really occurs. And I don't want to piggyback too much because Aurelia pretty much said what I wanted to say. So yeah, that's it. Elizabeth.
Sorry, I think myself off the top.
Dana.
So I'm confused as to why the amendment wasn't good, because I thought if more than 14 applied, then you would just not give them that much. So
It's not really germane.
well, no, I just wanted to know. I can't ask what I just want to know. I just don't understand, because I thought it doesn't mean that we have to give them that much. I thought because it could end up being back to the 450 if all of the media orgs did apply. But if they didn't, then they could get that much. So yeah, someone answer Carly.
I mean, I think that I've said this already, but essentially, that amendment isn't good because it only means that 14 organizations are getting funding for the rest of the year. And there's 24, and there's no other room in the budget for new media organizations. Besides the $1,000 that I graciously took out, but you know what I mean? There's no other room for, there's room for new media orgs, but not organizations that are already registered, besides the first 14, or however the hell I would do that if it was passed.
Parminder. He's not here. All right, Carly.
Okay. I'd like to make an amendment. Yeah. To C. Can I put campus department for college sponsorship? Here's it in writing.
Is this, am I doing the right thing?
You don't need to use the if you want, but
Okay. That's the amendment. It's being submitted. Any objections to this amendment? All right, it's been added. Okay, we're back to the original speakers list. Andrew.
In regards to that SOFAB thing about putting in the AS media person that works in my office,
Can the side chatter please stop and then include members of the public?
I don't know.